Hi, I am Mark. I'm going to try this again. This is Mark's Toy Box. I haven't posted a video in probably a year and a half, but apparently I checked my YouTube analytics and people are still watching things that I've done, which is incredible to say the least, because I don't think anything was that amazing. But nonetheless, here we are. So welcome back to Mark's Toy Box. To get things started, we're going to take a look at Jar Jar Binks from the Hasbro Star Wars Black Series. Mr. Binks came out as a $30 deluxe figure recently, and I did not want to pay that much for him. I'm not saying that he probably wasn't worth it. I just didn't want to, so I waited and he went on clearance. Box art. I don't know if you're into the Black Series as of late. They've been doing these really cool things where you can sort of line up the sides of these and they actually paint out a really cool picture, but I just cut open all of mine because I don't keep things in boxes. So they're obviously trying to do something nice for the inbox collectors and good for those people, I suppose. I'm not one of them. But Mr. Binks, number one, he was obviously going to take some new tooling because he's not really a figure that you can just sort of paint over some other body. So Jar Jar in all his full glory for you. Comes with one of these Gungan shields, a Gungan spear, and a Gungan sort of throwing boomer, big boomer. Ah, they tied him in there. This is my knife. I bought this for like $2.50 at Menards. It's about that sharp, but it gets the job done on these sort of things. Here we go. All right, let's get that rubber string off there. Okay, so there's Jar Jar for you. He's a great sculpt. I mean, if you look at, and the paint job is really exceptional. If you look at his arms there, they're all sorts of, I don't know if freckles is the right word, but whatever. Definitely a gradient painting going on down his ear flaps. Painting on the little black tips on all of those. His head sort of swivels right at the base of the neck. It's quite a bit of movement on there. I had wondered if these ear flaps were going to be articulated or not. They don't look like they are, but nonetheless, they move pretty well. He's got pretty decent motion in his arms. I'm trying to tell. No. I think it's just his vest. I was wondering if that was a butterfly joint in his shoulders, but it's not. He's got a diaphragm joint. It looks like, yeah. The base of his neck is articulated too, so he's got a neck. He's got articulation at both ends of his neck. Single jointed elbow on that pin. He's got double jointed knees. All around, it's a great figure. I don't think they did a bad job with this. In fact, I think they did a phenomenal job. He's just Jar Jar, so I didn't really care if I got him or not. He does not look like he has any alternate hands, so what you get is what you get. Anyway, I grabbed this for a $15 clearance at Target this past week. So if you are interested in Jar Jar, check out your Target locations and see if you can get a good deal. That shield's pretty awesome. It's a sort of purple, transparent coloring that you'd see in the movies, indeed. He holds on to it quite nicely to protect himself from the advancing droid army. I got that little thing that he can fling a boomer. Big boomer. The big boomers. It's a terrible Jar Jar voice. I used to be better with impressions when I was younger. I practiced. Now I don't anymore. I do think we need Boss Nass, though. I don't really care about Jar Jar, but Boss Nass would be very fun. Misa Punish Jar Jar. I like Boss Nass more than I like Jar Jar. And then you've got the giant spear that comes in 2 pieces because they need to be able to fit it in the box. So this is why this is deluxe. It's got some fairly awesome accessories. Yeah, that's the tip of the spear end. And that's just sort of the, I don't know, length of the spear. So if you don't want to have him like that, but maybe a more ranged weapon. There we go. General Jar Jar. The clothing he's wearing, I mean, this vest and this sort of, I don't know, waist wrap that he's got on. Nice soft rubber. There's some good flexibility in there. All in all, this is a great figure. I do think it would be fun to take this spear and paint the ends of it red and just turn him into Darth Jar Jar with a Darth Maul style lightsaber. Maybe when I get Darth Maul, I can just give Jar Jar his lightsaber and see how that works out too. I don't own a lot of Star Wars 6-inch figures. But really, in college, I bought a ton of 3 3/4-inch figures when I first started buying figures again as an adult. And then I sort of stopped for a while, and I don't want to just buy a ton more 6 inches, but I'm probably going to because I've got a lot from The Mandalorian. Anyway, this is Jar Jar Binks. Look, is he worth $30? Yeah, absolutely. They did a great job tooling a brand new figure comparatively. They're bringing him out in another package as well. There's going to be a new anniversary package coming soon. So you're going to be able to get your hands on Jar Jar. The paint job's just, I think, remarkable. The coloring's great. All in all, it's a fantastic figure. And if you like Jar Jar, you should get him. And even if you don't like Jar Jar, but you find just good action figures to be something worth buying, then this is one to buy because they did a remarkable job. Once again, look at that shield. It's super fun. There's a little bit of marking on mine. Looks like it got marred a little bit, but I could probably buff that out pretty easily. That shield's amazing. That's a little translucent boomer. That's very cool. All in all, I love this figure. It's just Jar Jar, so that was what kept me from wanting to drop $30 on it because it was deluxe with all the weapons. So check your Targets or other stores that are carrying them. When I first saw them come out and there were like 6 of them at every store, I told my wife, this is going to go on clearance because nobody's buying it, and nobody was buying it. And last week, somebody on Reddit pointed out that they found it on clearance. So I checked my Target, and sure enough, it was on clearance, and they had still 6 of them left. So this is Mark from Mark's Toy Box. Thank you so much for apparently continuing to watch over the last year and a half, even though I didn't post anything. So I'm going to try and post some more. I'm going to try and keep them a little more brief and concise. But nonetheless, we're going to look at fun figures that I like to buy, and hopefully you'll like to buy them too. Thank you so much for checking in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.